Hey,
All right, welcome to WarpZone, everybody. I'm Phil V. Real, KGUN Senior Real-Time Editor,
and I'm Caleb Fernandez, digital content producer.
and a very special guest today. We have Dalen Hunter, who is living the dream at U of A's Esports program, and this is just fascinating to me personally, Dalen. I think it's so cool that we have an esports program at my alma mater, U of A. That's like, it's kind of like we're leading the forefront. It seems like the future. You see esports everywhere. I know it was kind of your first full year you wrapped up as a program, and uh, you just do all sorts of cool things. We've done a story about how you rent the facility out to people. Yeah, that was a really cool thing that we're going to have in the background as you talk. So, Dalen, just tell us what is going on with this. Like, what's the background and what's the excitement? Just tell us everything we need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, is my mic working pretty good?
It is. It's working
Okay,
good.
awesome. So, yeah, we came to UArizona with a plan in mind to set the tone for the esports teams to go big in representation of the U of A. So beforehand, we had the Arizona Gaming Club running the teams, and they are spectacular. There are 2,000 members in their Discord server and tons of activity. So what we've been doing is we've been bringing it to the front with running teams with diversity and inclusion and making sure that everyone gets to feel comfortable in the seat of varsity play. UArizona has a lot of teams that are co-ed, or they'll have women's teams and men's teams, but in esports you can do both. You can have women and men in the same team. So yeah.
So, Dalen, what is your role in this program? What do you do day to day?
Yeah, so since it's the summer, it's kind of chill. What we're doing is we're planning events for the semester. Events work hand in hand with competitive teams because competitive teams are they're working behind the scenes, and events kind of bring the community to the forefront to see what the teams are up to. In addition, I'm going to be doing broadcasting. We'll have a casting room set up in this very office, and we'll be having people learn to cast and broadcast the teams playing live games. So it's going to be a blast.
That's really cool. So, what's the excitement like? Do people know about this on campus? Do you have do you have a lot of curiosity? Are there is there a big group tryouts? Are there scholarships offered to people? Like, how does this team come together? What's the status on campus? Like, what kind of where is it going, and what's the status like? What's the momentum like at this moment?
Yeah, so we have scholarships in place. They're not too big at the moment. We're hoping to build them out. At the moment, it's about $500 just to put into your tuition. In the future, we hope to build that out so that students really want to come to UArizona to get that scholarship money and to be on the team. Yeah, so...
If I can ask a question real quick, what has been the most surprising thing? Like, what are people surprised with when they join or when they start going into those studies?
The studies of esports?
Yes.
Yeah, the studies of esports. Well, at the moment, it is just a minor. So they have other courses that they're taking alongside it. But the esports minor is growing. We're building a casting course in January, and they already have so many people involved in making the esports minor a thing. Catherine, she runs it, and she is fantastic. She's always looking for new opportunity, and even though she isn't like an esports player, she's really open-minded and likes to get things going for the rest of us.
So you actually do some broadcasting yourself, is that right?
Yes.
It seems like you've got to have so much knowledge about every individual game. Like, is there something that you specialize in? Like, what do you most like to broadcast as as the game?
I'm a diehard fan of League of Legends, so that is the one that I always go back to. I've played it since 2014, and every single game definitely takes a different kind of tuning for broadcasting, because if you play the same thing with every game, you're gonna have to move the scoreboard around the map, because sometimes there's information on the top, sometimes there's information on the bottom, on the side, and every single game you have to navigate and make sure that the information is still seen. And so with our broadcast, we're probably just going to keep the scoreboard on the bottom, outside of the frame of the game, and we'll have the casters on the side with a camera on them. It'll be cool. We don't have it set up yet, but we're ready.
So who are UArizona's rivals as far as esports programs? Like, who is it? Other Pac-12 schools, while the Pac-12 still exists? Is it other national programs? Like, what's the community like right now? Maybe what are we looking at as far as like the main competition?
Well, we actually meet with the Pac-12 schools. So I don't know if that's actually a rival or not. I guess it will be eventually. The Pac-12 schools, we all meet up and talk about esports together. But in terms of local rivals, it's definitely ASU. I heard that GCU is building a team as well. But yeah, hopefully we can get that going. I expect to see the rivals of the Pac-12 to verse us.
So if you're watching this and maybe you're in high school right now or college, you're thinking about trying to get into this program, what do you have to do? Like, what are the requirements? When is there a tryout? Like, what's the path from being a gamer just sitting at home right now to getting into the U of A Esports organization?
Yeah, so if you're a high schooler right now, I would say keep up with your studies. Our school does not want to have people on our teams that have low grades. So keep up with your studies and play games as well. Like, let the games be your reward after you finish your studies. I'd say there is studies that show that if you're good at video games and you're high rank, you're also really good in school. I'm not too sure if that's incredibly sourced or not, but I'd like to believe that's true, because we have some pretty stable players on our teams right now who have good grades and are good at their games. So yeah, definitely keep up grades and your games, and you can make it here. If you don't make a team, you can definitely be part of the community. The community is growing, and we'll have tons of events for them to experience.
So there's different teams for each game. Like, what are some of the other ones other than League of Legends? Like, what other teams do you have right now?
Right. We have Valorant, we have CSGO, Rocket League, Super Smash Brothers, and there's Rainbow Six. Yeah.
All right. So are you a participant in any of these, or are you focusing on are you kind of an administrative end / broadcasting?
Yeah, I sadly can't participate with them. It's their own world. We have a role that we run things, and we don't necessarily like participate in them, just to keep that groundwork going of running things. But I would love to. They have so much fun. They join VCs every night in Discord and play pugs, and it's spectacular.
What's the community like with the program? Are they competitive with each other? Is there like a kinship? Are people supportive, or is there kind of like some rivalries, or like maybe like does everybody want to be the best? Like, I imagine there might be that, but what is it as far as?
Well, we actually have someone who's planning an event right now. One of the students, we have so many Valorant players right now, enough to make 6 different teams. And we're doing like Valorant casual games with these 6 teams. So they go on to Discord every day with their team, and then they'll create a mascot, and then they'll play against each other in the VCs, and they'll submit their scores to the person who's running the event, and it's awesome. They're gonna have a one winner at the end of the month, and I'm watching.
Nice.
So what's the season like? Is it year round? Is it, I know you mentioned the event that's going right now. Is there a particular time of year where there's more going on than others?
Yeah, when September hits, we'll probably have like 2 events per month and ongoing until December. And yeah, same for January through May.
What is the best way for just fans, supporters to stay in contact, to keep tabs on U of A esports program? Like, where do you guys like to have your presence that people can kind of interact as fans?
Honestly, for people who are not going to U of A, I would honestly say follow our Twitch. Our Twitch will have every single broadcast up and going. Follow our YouTube. The YouTube will have highlights from our Twitch, and maybe Instagram as well. Instagram will show our teams and show what we're up to. Honestly, anything to keep you updated. Discord is for the students. Discord is definitely for those who go to U of A, and yeah.
So go ahead, Caleb, please.
I was just gonna say, well, I like what you said real quick earlier about the keeping it as like your reward. Like, do your studies, get everything done, and then play this and jam out and go nuts once you've taken care of everything. I wanted to highlight that and bring that back into the conversation, because I think that's not only is that encouraging, but it's just, you know, it's logical. It's gonna be the best whether you're a little, I don't know, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old barely getting into gaming, or you've been doing it for years and you want to be optimal. So I think that's awesome that you're putting that in there and you're reminding people, you know, get what you're here for done, and then use this and empower yourself through it and keep going, but make sure that you're doing it correctly or responsibly.
Yeah, it's very important, and you can see a lot of people when they don't have a community around them, they play games in their free time and don't really branch out and find it to be as warming and comfortable for them. Here at UArizona, we really want gaming to be a social environment just like anything else. And when it's social and flowing with people, you're bound to find people with similar interests, and it's great.
So what about your facilities? And we got to look at them in our story that Danelle did for us, I think a couple months ago. It seems like you guys are trying to be kind of on the cutting edge of what's available. It just looks impressive. It's got the U of A branding on it. Like, tell us about those. Like, what kinds of equipment do you work with? What's the tech like? Is it like a dream for someone maybe who like goes from the couch to all of a sudden being part of this major university program?
Yeah, the equipment's pretty high end. We have about 20 computers and 2 switches for Smash. Yeah, the computers are heavily reliable, and we have a team down at the arena who build and make sure that they're always up to prime condition. Yeah, I think anyone who wants to get a high-end computer for a low price should go there and check it out. It's at the bottom of the Union, so you'd have to go down the stairs to find it.
And what's the interest level like? Like, do you have to turn a lot of people away? Like, what is it like? Is it like a real intense thing to compete and maybe make one of these teams? And like, how does that process go? Like, how do you start, and when do you try out? How do you join, and like, what does it take to make one of these teams?
I feel like from my experience, the most important thing to build a team is to build a community. You need to make sure that you find people who are passionate about the game and meet up for the game. And then from there, you can kind of build up a team for the game. That's how all esports kind of started around the world with universities, is like, for example, the university that I came from, they started out as the League of Legends club back in 2015, and then they built it up to Esports club as it is today. And over here, we have the gaming club because they branched out to things like Beat Saber and rhythm games. And yeah, it just, you have to build the community, and as that grows, you can suddenly build teams from that and really show your colors through winning things.
One thing that's kind of interesting to me is kind of the life and mindset of an esports athlete. Like, how does it relate to traditional sports, and how does it compare? Like, I know that you have to have your like physical like kind of abilities kind of in tune with your mind to perform. It's just amazing to me the reflexes it takes. High level. So, like, what's the relationship there between physical athleticism and esports? Performance, like from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, oh, there's so much. I mean, you have to think about the cognitive load between the game and yourself. A lot of people like to point out that you are not versing just a computer, you are versing real people on the other side of the team. So you have to know the personality. Yeah, well, you don't have to know the personality, but you have to know like what they're thinking and what they're going to do next. And that takes a lot of thinking and planning. League of Legends, for example, is about information and what you can see and what you can't see. And so you have to use your information wisely and put it on the map. And what you don't know, you have to guess. And some people will look at that game and think that it has nothing to do with cognitive thinking, and it really does. There's a lot of thinking going on, and it's really stressful if you get distracted while you're in one of those games, especially if it's competitive. But yeah, also the mechanics of your fingers and the keyboard, like you have to have fast reflexes. And if you go to the pro teams, like the pro teams, 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, they will not hire anybody older than 30 because they want people who are young and quick reflexes. So yeah.
Good to
That's
know.
interesting to me. Like that to me, it's almost like the same thing you'd see in the NBA, or maybe like in a lot of pro football. Like after 30, it's really hard to hang on at that point. Why do you think that is? It's just naturally like the reflexes slow down. Is that mainly the thing?
They've also done scans of the brain to see, and like it just it's an interesting balance. They want someone who's fresh at the game, someone who isn't playing for too long, because if they play for too long, and this is just the pro level, this isn't us. We're not like this extreme, but at the pro level, they don't want someone who's been playing for a long time, because then they get stuck to their ideals and they won't change for anything. They want someone who's like a new, fresh, but still really good, to get that team going.
And we have a comment real quick. So this one, I'll leave you up there because it's more for you. What was the I think they meant maybe the first video game you ever played? Do you remember?
It's what started my love for video games. So back in first grade, we were asked if we wanted to do a movie night or a game night. And I didn't want to do movie nights on Fridays. I wanted to do game nights. We would get on computers all around the house. My dad set this up. And we would play Age of Empires.
Oh!
So we'd all have our own town. We'd all verse each other, and it was the best. If I destroyed something, I'd like run out of my room to whoever it is and flame them.
Yeah, so old school LAN parties. That's what that was.
Yeah. It was the best.
My brother introduced me to those. Those were nice.
Yeah, we had some old school computers back then. So, but yeah, when esports started around like 2009, that was it. It was just growing from there. So,
Phil, what was your first video game? What do you remember?
I remember being like probably 3 years old, and my dad lifting me up to a Pac-Man machine, and like he would just play for me. But I remember being angry at him, like he didn't think I could do it on my own, so I was like really resentful about that. So like I was all about proving I could play Pac-Man. I still like Pac-Man to this day, but the first game I really got into was Super Mario Brothers on the NES. Like back then, it was like to be in third or fourth grade and to get a Nintendo Entertainment System, like that was like the ultimate, like the greatest thing that could happen to you as a kid. So like it was just magical to just all of a sudden be in that world. Like before that, it was all arcades. So like being able to do that at home was just something new. And obviously, like when online gaming came along, it changed everything. I remember being in the dorms playing Doom with others and like just like talking like smack to each other. Like this was at U of A too. Like that was the very, very beginnings of, we wouldn't call ourselves esports, but maybe the first part of campus culture where you saw that come along. So like you guys definitely seem to have grown up in different eras. Like what was your first experience with online gaming? I want to hear it from both Caleb and Dalen.
Well, real quick, mine was World of Warcraft. That was my first PC online. Getting into your like now they say raids, but I don't know what the term was back then. It was just I just called it like getting into your clan. But whether you're like a mage or like I don't know, an elf or whatever you were, that's what called me in at first. But what was yours?
Yeah. Well, my experience really is multiplayer based. I guess you could say my first was Minecraft, but I got bored of it because I couldn't find my friends in it. It was just so open and vast. So I kind of dropped that and went straight to League. My first experience with League of Legends was very different than what it is now. It's a huge learning curve. But yeah, League got me started. I stuck with League and only League for a long time in high school. And then when college hit, I actually branched out to all of the games. So Rocket League, I played. Valorant I really got into because I knew all the League players were going into Valorant. It's made by the same company. So yeah.
What do you see on the horizon, Dalen? Like what game might be in its infancy stage, but is kind of developing enough to become a major esports player? Is there anything that you think might be the next kind of frontier for esports?
I haven't found anything new recently. Yeah, we're kind of stuck with this like code of whatever goes, and then everyone copies it because everyone's scared to make a new esport. It's kind of interesting. I feel like we could, but a lot of people are scared to try because balancing is such a hard deal and character creation and what if it flops, but yeah, we have the MOBA category, which is League, Dota. We have the shooter category, which is Overwatch. Oh, Overwatch. We have an Overwatch team.
Nice.
Overwatch, Rainbow Six, Valorant, CSGO. Those all are shooters. Rocket League is one of
we have
those
like
interesting
FIFA
ones.
and the Konami soccer, whatever that one's called.
Those ones have a lot of interest, but the esports side, I'm not sure if they'd go very far. The reason for that is because I think the game isn't updated enough and the players are not. I've heard that it's a bit of a. I don't want to speak too soon. It could. There are some things about it that might need to change for it to be a real esport, though. But yeah, we could include it if people really want to be on a team for it. We could include it.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to me to see Rocket League evolve in that direction. That's a game that came out maybe kind of just like a silly little thing that not many people took seriously, but colossal community developed around it very quickly. And then they did make some adjustments to kind of adapt to the esports format. And now you see it as a major player. And great to see that UArizona's got a team. What like you mentioned a couple of things, Dalen. Balance, character creation, kind of like maybe code that will treat players and teams fairly. What other is there anything else you think it takes to make an great esports game?
You need You need balance. I don't know. I guess figuratively speaking, we could make a lot of esports games out there. You need an enemy team, and you need balance between the characters, and that's about it. Then you have yourself an esport game.
I want Mario Strikers Battle League on Switch to be the next esport. I'm playing that obsessively right now. I'm way over my 30s, but I'm going to sign up for the team if it ever exists. We're going to do that.
Mario Strikers.
Yeah, it's kind of like soccer, but it's got Bowser and Donkey Kong and all the Mario characters. I honestly think, because like this is a series that's been around a while, but it kind of seems like they're going for that esports thing here. I think they want to be somewhat like Smash Brothers, because Nintendo really doesn't have a lot of that other than Smash Brothers. Maybe they're trying to step in that field. It's not as silly and kind of like unbalanced as Mario Kart, which could never be an esport. Other things like that, like Mario Tennis, other like those are ridiculous. Those are kind of more for kids and for me. But I think the Strikers could be the next player. I haven't heard that anywhere else. This is just my own experience playing the game, but that's just my wish, really. But we're gonna wrap it up now, though. Dalen, is there anything you'd like to tell our viewership about your program before we head off?
Yeah. We'll be at Tucson Comic-Con to have everyone meet and greet the teams. If you want to see us there, check us out. But yeah, the teams can also answer some questions at Tucson Comic-Con on September 4th, 5th, and 6th. But yeah, for those of you in high school, just keep doing what you're doing. Play games, but also get your grades up, and we'll see you at UArizona.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Dalen. I really appreciate it.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Nice. It's cool to see the. I mean, I'm gonna sound like a boomer, but it's cool to see the younger perspective, because it's true. I think all three of us had different gaming experiences, and I never thought that I would be here next to a university that's offering gaming studies. Penn State was awesome, but they didn't have, at the time, I don't think they had that. And, U of A's on it. It's, they're making it happen.
That's really cool.
Anything else you want to add, Phil?
No, thank you very much, Dalen. I really appreciate that. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, so thanks for helping our dreams come true. This is really awesome. Hopefully we can have you back sometime.
Mm-hmm. So with that, then, we'll see everybody next time on WarpZone. Stay tuned.